Close your eyes and imagine that you are with your specific person, okay? It does not matter if you guys are in the car, watching TV in the house, but be there with them, okay? Now, with your eyes still closed, I want you to decide right now, what is it specifically about your end, whether it's marriage, whether it's just a loving relationship in general, them committing to you, what is it exactly that you are desiring the most from them right now, okay? A lot of times you are really wanting to feel their affection, or maybe you really want that message from them just to feel wanted, right? Maybe you're in no contact, right? Or perhaps you're horny and you want intimacy. Be honest with yourself, and right now in this moment, what is it that you want the most? And then we'll use the extreme example. Let's say you're horny, okay? If you're horny, without having to get so explicit, focus on the body part that you long for of them the most, okay? And before I get demonetized, I'll let you decide what that is, right? You're in the setting right now. You've already chosen whether you're in the car, whether you're in the house, whatever. Don't focus on the activity. Don't care too much on what day it is, or if the AC was on, or if they have their perfume. Focus on the exact body part that you long for, okay? And in your head, imagine what would it feel like to touch it, okay? Just the same way that when you think of an apple, okay, we all know what an apple feels like. Well, get to the point where the intensity of that apple matches the intensity of that body part that you long for, okay? And without thinking of, okay, how are we gonna do the foreplay? You know, am I gonna have to seduce her first? Look, all the answers to that do not matter, because what needs to happen for this intimate act to occur is not important, because you are already there. Remember, when you're in your imagination, that is already happening right now. You got to understand that. That's the way this works, okay? So you are already there feeling that intimate part of them, right? And I want you to get to the point where it matches the intensity of when I ask you to feel apple in your brain, match the intensity of that tactile sensation and loop that, okay? Now, obviously, you're not just sitting there touching the part. It's in a situation where it already naturally occurred, right? But when I say don't focus on how did it occur, don't try to play out that scene. Just naturally be in a situation where, and for this example, your clothes are off. You guys are, you know, having the indoor Olympics, whatever, right? Do whatever in the scene, but don't show the cause. You're already there, okay? You're touching it, you feel the tactile sensation, and you're looping that over and over and over again. Loop it until you feel something, right? And then you come out of that, you open your eyes, and then for the rest of today and the rest of the week, that now is a memory. And whenever you think of that person, I want you to go back to that memory. And when you go back to that memory, it's not of, oh wow, that imaginal act worked. This technique was bomb, dude. Fuck yeah. No, it's not a technique, because the moment that you admit that it's a technique, you fuck up. Okay, because if it's a technique, if it's an imaginal act, it's not something that happened. It's you doing something as a means to get your specific person. No, my friends, when you saw you touching her breast in the imaginal act, when you felt the bulge in his pants, okay? And we're all adults here, all right? Come on, I know you guys are not trying to get together just to play patty cake, all right? When you felt all that shit, it actually happened. Congratulations. So don't admit that it was a technique, just see it as a memory, all right? You got it? Good. Now for you holy people, we can also use the example of if you just want commitment, okay? If you want commitment, and that's what you're longing for the most right now. Right now, maybe you're not horny. You just long for that committed relationship. You want to feel loved by that specific person, right? Even if it's somebody you've never met before. I want you to decide what is the most explicit way, and not bad words like cuss words, but like what is the most obvious way that they can make it to show you that they love you. Could it just be hearing them say that they love you, right? Then without having to figure out the foreplay before it and the cause and effect, just hear them say the words, I love you. Focus on the sound of their voice. Is it high pitched? Is it deeper? Is it slow? Is it more, you know, focused on pace? Whatever it is, right? Before I get in an accident here, whatever it is, focus on the audio, right? Remember, all these people focus too much on unnecessary details. Guys, scientists have proven that when you focus more on the audio of what the person is saying rather than the content itself, it'll hit the brain quicker either ways, because a lot of the times it's not what they're saying, it's the way they say it, okay? So you can do that. Focus on them saying, I love you, right? And loop that, and I promise you, just the same way that we heard our bosses arguing with us and it caused a manifestation against our favor, is the same way that if you loop that and you go the rest of your day, go the rest of your week, go the rest of your year, looking back at that as a memory, congratulations, it's already happened. The only thing that will get in the way from it materializing in the physical 3D is you. How? By checking the 3D and saying, where is it? Because every single time that you check the 3D, I will say this for the millionth time, my friends, it's like robotically affirming that you are a loser, that you suck, that you will never get SP, that you will die alone. So you want to keep checking the 3D, or do you want to keep checking your internal reality, the one that you can control? Because you cannot control a dead echo. This is the echo of the past, my friends, but you are the echo of the future. You are actually, in reality, the echo of now. Because whatever you give yourself, just like I had you close your eyes at the beginning of this video, that will have to happen 99 million times out of 99 million times. Okay? So, are you going to believe in the flesh, or are you going to believe in the spirit? You got to ask yourself that. When the scriptures talk about that, it's not talking about, you know, saying prayers and doing your Hail Marys and being holy religiously. It's talking about, are you going to live life the way that the 99% does, or are you going to be like the 1% who understands that it's not the things that are seen, but it's the things that are unseen? Because again, if you really were to take an inventory and see where you're at in life, I guarantee you that you can think of a time where you manifested this in the past, where you manifested your bank account, where you manifested the issues that you're having at work, where you manifested the breakups. Look, or just ask a person who's going through a breakup right now, and I guarantee you, if you really allow them to be honest with you, they will admit that there was a time where they got insecure about the relationship. They will admit that they had their doubts, or that they were stalking their partner's social media, which is the same exact thing as someone who's unsure of themselves. And someone who's unsure of themselves is like the exact same thing as doing a SAT session every single night of their partner breaking up with them. It will have to happen, my friends. I have never, ever not manifested something that I continuously identified in my imagination. And remember, your imaginal acts don't have to be vivid. You don't even have to see shit. Like, I had you close your eyes and I asked for you to see your specific person there, but if you saw them blurry, it still happened. Congratulations, you entered the reality where it's already there. Because your imagination is not real in the sense that when you see their blurry face, or you can't even get a good look on their hair color, and maybe it keeps coming out blue, or maybe their fucking face looks like your mom, the image itself is not real. The implication is, because all possibilities exist if you can access them internally. So when you go in your imagination, You are not accessing the actual imagery evidence. You are simply accessing the reality where it already exists, because I'm going to let you in on another secret. If you desire it, it's already there. A desire is not a revelation of something you don't have. It is a reflection of something that is already yours. Okay? So understand that. Loop this fucking video as many times as you need. And if you need help manifesting something, book a call with me. I would love to work with you. Join the membership for access to videos that you will never see on the public side, and also up to 2 months in advance of videos that you will see later on. And it's the only location where you will see my client personal success stories, because they're up to 20 plus minutes long. And YouTube is kind of weird about that shit. Thank you guys, and until next time, I love you.